Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning into the Huddle. I'm Britt Johnson. I am here with a very dear friend of mine, Ben Bateman.
I'm so happy to be back.
Yeah,
it's so good to see you, Britt.
This is great. Me and Ben go way back. We used to do like a podcast together.
Yeah.
Maybe we should start that up again. He was just talking to me about how many jobs he has right now, so I'm just trying to add to that. But let's talk about a guy who maybe is going to get a really good job soon.
Yeah.
Very soon. Josh Rosen told ESPN this about his future career. I want to be great in everything I do. As far as football, I always looked up to Kellen Moore at Boise State. I thought it was the coolest thing that he was the winningest quarterback of all time. I thought that was a cool word, winningest. So I want to be the winningest quarterback in NFL history. I want to win the most games and most championships. I'd say 6 titles, but if Tom Brady gets 6, I'll say 7. Okay, what do you think about what he said?
Well, okay, so first of all, young guys that come out of college that have all this brash bravado, you know, he talks about Johnny Manziel and Aaron Rodgers in other interviews.
Right.
You shouldn't be talking about Johnny Manziel, bro. Like, he's a rich kid that came out, won the Heisman, had all the confidence in the world, and look what happened. Now, I'm not saying that this is the same guy, because he feels like the world of difference between the two guys, but like, it makes me nervous, this kid. I mean...
Well, and he's been known for being a cocky guy, you know? And, I mean, being at UCLA, you're just like, you're in LA, he's probably rubbed elbows with a few celebrities and stuff, so he kind of, I guess, already thinks he's there, which he could be that guy, but to say that ahead of time, I think is kind of premature.
Yeah, I mean, again, like the reference that he wants to be great at everything he does. What 21-year-old kid that's been rich and the best at everything they've ever done their whole life, who's handsome and who wouldn't say that? You know, like that. I was 21 once. I remember feeling that way, though I wasn't rich.
I was 21 too once. Yeah, but I mean, do you think that he's going to live up to the hype, or do you think he's going to be a bust?
He's as prepared physically for the NFL as any quarterback we've seen in a long time, and this is the first draft class in maybe 30 years that has this much talent at the quarterback position. I mean, this is similar to like the Marino draft, where you could actually have 3 franchise quarterbacks go in the top 3 picks.
Yeah.
You know, for me, I think at the end of the day, I think he can be great. I think that the NFL is lacking personality superstars, right? If I was trying to sell a product, I would go to the NBA because those players are more fun.
Yeah. You only have so many Odells, and then he's a give and take, because sometimes he's pissed off and sometimes he's like awesome.
The quiet confidence of like a Matt Ryan is not very much fun to sell a product with. So for me, if this guy's successful, it's exciting for all of us. I want him to be successful, and I think he has the physical tools to do it.
Yeah, but Tom Brady-ish?
Come on, nobody's gonna ever be Tom Brady.
But it's crazy though, because with quarterbacks, I feel like you never know. You see, I mean, guys like Tom Brady, who was a 6th-round pick, and then we're talking about guys right now that are 1st-round picks. So it's like, I mean, to say that they could never be as great as Tom Brady going into a draft is kind of difficult for me to say. But I also do think a lot of the kids that, you know, do get drafted in the 1st round have just naturally always been talented. They naturally haven't had to work as hard as a lot of other people. So they don't, when you get to the NFL, everybody's really great. Not everybody's good. You're not in college where you're playing against whatever the other guys in your freaking conference or division. You're literally playing against the best of the best of the best. And a lot of times the difference that changes is those guys that continue to just work really hard, and they end up, like a Tom Brady, go above everybody else. So it's, I don't know.
Well, I think it's interesting, right? Because like Josh Allen and Sam Darnold, you figure those guys are going to go in the first 2. You figure best case scenario, this kid's going to be 3. But if you go look at the most successful quarterbacks, and especially the ones we're talking about, the ones that he referenced, none of those guys were #1 overall picks.
Right.
So it's the best thing that can happen to a young kid sometimes, to have the chip on your shoulder. The Aaron Rodgers chip, where you know the whole time you were the best guy in the draft and you should have been taken first, but you weren't. And it makes you better. You look at child stars that get famous when they're 12. The ones that get famous when they're 30 tend to be a lot more sane, a lot more consistent, a lot more successful overall. This guy might have a longer career if he's taken 3rd. I think the worst thing that could happen to this guy would be, I mean, this is a kid that put a hot tub in his dorm room his freshman year.
Welcome to UCLA.
You know, this guy he's got to be humbled a little bit, and I think he's got the talent to accept that humility.
Now, I actually just recently saw something. Baker Mayfield spoke with a psychic, and the psychic said that he was going to have a great season and whatever, and just be great and successful in the NFL. Out of, you know, these guys like Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, and Josh Rosen, which one do you think is going to come out of this class and be the best quarterback during his career?
I feel honestly, from a talent perspective, it's not Mayfield. He's last for me. It's one of the top 3 guys we're talking about. And if I was gonna just bet on it based on like how I feel about the whole situation, if the cameras were off and I was saying, what do I hope?
We're still rolling, Ben.
I think it's this kid.
Really?
I think it's gonna take him 2 years longer than the other guys to get there. I think he's gonna have a rocky start. But I think it's going to be this
kid. And do you think it depends where they're placed? You know, if they're going to the Browns versus if they're going to the Jets or the Broncos?
Yeah, but like so much has been said about that, the big market versus the small market.
Yeah.
I mean, getting drafted by Cleveland can ruin anybody's career.
I say that all the time, yeah.
But I honestly almost wonder if this kid got drafted by the Browns. Let's just say hypothetically that happened. And he sucked for 5 years.
Yeah.
And then he signed.
Well, and he's going to a team. UCLA has not been good for several years. Their defense, I think, was a little bit better this year. But offensively, I went to like 4 or 5 games, and he would literally throw the ball exactly to the receiver, and they wouldn't catch it. So he's accurate and he's great, but like he's used to playing with guys that are like subpar. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like they're not great. So I think the Browns he could probably do something there.
There was one comment when he was talking about his friends that kind of bothered me, where he's like, "My teammates love me." He's like, "My teammates effing love me," and it's like that's kind of like when you say to a dude,
that's how I am in the studio. Like, Ben Bateman loves me. This is gonna be great.
But a little bit when he said it, it felt a little bit like that thing when you're like, "Do you have a problem with gay people, bro?" And they're like, "Gay people love me. Gay people love me." You're like, "Really?" Because the way you're saying it, so that made me like worried a little bit that maybe he's not as good with people as we think. But honestly, if I was gonna bet on it, I think he's the guy.
All right, well, that is your bet. We want to know what you guys think in the comments below. Who is going to come out of this draft class and be the best quarterback this season? Let us know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, shop the Fumble store before you go. I'm Britt Johnson. That's been Bateman. We'll see you guys soon.
See you guys.